everybody, my name is Krishna Joshi and welcome back to Easy Learning. Today we are going to learn epithelial and connective tissue, which is animal tissue. So the types of animal tissues are nervous tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue and epithelial tissue. So today we are only going to learn epithelial and connective tissue. In coming sessions we'll learn nervous tissue and muscular tissue. Sorry. Cuboidal, this epithelium tissue have types. So those are cuboidal epithelial tissue, squamous epithelial tissue, then columnar epithelial tissue, pseudostratified epithelial tissue, then transitional epithelial tissue, glandular epithelium tissue, and ciliated epithelium tissue. So let's see the location and function of those tissues, epithelium tissues. So the first is simple squamous epithelium tissue. It's just the shape is like this. So the location is air sacs of lungs and the lining of heart. The function is to allow the materials to pass through. It's just the lining, so it allows the materials to pass through next. Then other is simple cuboidal epithelium, which is in the in duct and secretory portion of the small glands. It forms lining and all, and it is just for like supporting. The next is simple columnar epithelium tissue. It's like ciliated tissue. See, you can see the cilia here, and those are like longer than this. See the size, those are uninucleated, of course, and the function is like they helps in secretion, just for supporting, helps in secretion of mucus and enzymes. The next is pseudo stratified. It's just that you won't understand, like it is multi-layered and single layered, but then so the name suggests it's pseudo stratified, but it's single layered. It's like ciliated tissue is same as this, and it helps in moving mucus from one place to other. So it's like this, and it helps move the mucus from here to like this. It moves like this, and the mucus moves. Found in many places, trachea. Then next is transitional epithelium, lining of organs in urinary system, that is urinary bladder. And not only this, there are other also like there are many other ureteres and all. The function is it stretches readily, so it doesn't like it doesn't like burst off because it's transitional. So it like keeps on stretching. So it's like this, and then it stretches, but then it won't burst off. So that's the speciality. The next is this glandular epithelium. It is Seebeker's gland of the skin. So it's found in skin for secretion of secretion of sweat, you can say, sweat gland. And then it's just supporting it. See, you can see here the secretion of enzymes and all. The next is ciliated. It's same as pseudo stratified, and it's found in intestine linings. It helps in moving things from surface. Then next is, so the epithelium tissues is finished. So we started with connective tissue now. So the first is blood, then second is alveolar, adipose, bone, cartilage, and tendons. So first is blood for cold-blooded and warm-blooded organisms, the differentiation. So let's see what it is. So it says that the cold-blooded animals, organisms, doesn't have any constant body temperature. So if for example, if this organism first lives in desert, so the blood temperature will be hot there. So the temperature, atmospheric temperature is also hot, and here the blood is temperature is also hot. The next is warm blood, whereas in warm blooded, the body temperature remains constant, it doesn't change. In cold blooded, yeah, in desert, then if it goes to Antarctica, then the blood will freeze because the temperature isn't constant, so it changes regarding the surrounding. surrounding in Antarctica, the atmospheric temperature is very cold, right? The climate is very cold, so it changes. And whereas for warm-blooded, it won't change regarding the surrounding. So the example is frog and fish for cold-blooded, and for warm-blooded, it's mammals and birds. You can see. The next is blood again. See, those are the cold-blooded and warm-blooded. This is blood. What does blood transport? This is a question. So this is a very basic question. The blood transports oxygen, amino acids, amino oxides, sorry, hormones and nutrients. The fun fact is that if you have Rh factor in your blood, then your blood group will be positive. So it won't be negative. Like for example, if you have Rh factor in your blood, then it can be A positive, B positive, or AB positive. It will not be negative like A negative or B negative or something. It won't be like that. It will be positive only. The composition of blood, here you can see plasma. It is main component. See, it is most abundant component. It have 55%. It can then it have waste materials. It's mainly composed of water and all. Then next is RBC, red blood cells, or erythrocytes. This is a scientific name. It is second abundant component of the blood. It is 41%. See, then next is platelets or thrombocytes, and the last is white blood cells or WBC or leukocyte, which is like platelets and white blood cell together forms 4% of the blood. Then next is the comparison of WBC and RBC. So here you can see, yeah, you can see that at WBC, the first, let's see the divisions of WBC, subdivisions. So WBC white blood cells, that subdivision is that granulocyte and agranulocyte. So there is one more division of this granulocyte. It's that three divisions specifically. It's that eosinophils, neutrophils, and basophils. And the division of agranulocyte is monocyte and lymphocyte. So let's see the comparison of WBC and RBC. So WBC is white in color and RBC is red in color. Then number of RBC is more than WBC. You can see number is 4.1 to 5.1 million per MCL. That's microliter cube. MCL cube, microliter cube. So cube of 1 microliter. Uh, then next, whereas in WBC white blood cells, it's that their number is 4,000 to 11,000 per microliter. That's all. Then next is RBC contains hemoglobin, which is the red pigment, which gives the color red, and also helps in carrying this oxygen. Whereas WBC lacks hemoglobin, so it's not red in color. And if your body produces more WBC, it means that, yeah, there is some disease, some infection in your body. So this some questions, some important questions. We won't be answering these questions here. You can just comment the answers for this. Comment it down. So the first question is, why is epithelium of urinary bladder stratified? Stratified like many cells together. Then second is, what will happen if a person's body produces more WBC? Just now I told. You can rewind the video to get the answers. You can also pause it anywhere you want to. And then next is, which component of the blood helps clot the blood? We just saw it. You can rewind the video and see it again and again to get the answers. And then next, the fourth question is, which component of the blood is known as matrix of the blood? That also we saw. Then the fifth question says that give two example of cold-blooded and warm-blooded organism. That also we saw. I gave you two examples. You can rewind the video. I'm telling it again and again. Then where can you find columnar epithelium and squamous epithelium in your body? That also we just saw in the function and location. And don't forget to subscribe my channel for latest updates. I'll keep on making these type of videos for NCRT textbooks. Next is tendon and ligament. So here you can see that tendon is location is here, bone to bone. It connects bone uh, to other bone. Then sorry, this is ligament. Tendon is here, muscle to bone. It connects muscles and bones. So there is a short form for that. No, there is a trick which I made. It's that two bones are connected by ligaments. So the trick is that, see, bone, 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 ligament. You can see ligament here, and bone. The other bone is here. So BLB, bone, ligament, bone. Then the next one is tendon, connect bones to muscles. So tendon connects bones to muscles. So you can say bone, here is bone. Then tendon, here is tendon. And the last is muscle here. BTM, B for bone, L for ligament, B for bone here, B for bone, T for tendon, M for muscle. So this is a short trick which can help you in exams. The next is bone and cartilage. You can see this is cartilage, this is bone, and this is another bone. So the bone cart. This is the differentiated table. You can read it out or pause the video and write it somewhere if you want to. So bones are vascular in nature. It can vascular in nature in the sense that it have a rich blood supply, and cartilage doesn't. Next is they are not flexible. Bones aren't flexible. You can't take a flex your this bone from here. It'll break. Whereas this cartilages are flexible. It is found between the bones. Then the cell name of this bone is osteocyte, whereas this cartilage is chondrocyte. Matrix bone can be both organic or inorganic. It depends. And then the cartilage in cartilage for cartilage, the matrix is completely organic. It won't be inorganic. Then the bone, they have rich blood supply. I just told they are vascular in nature, and whereas cartilage lacks of blood supply. Then the last differentiation is that has deposit of calcium salt. The calcium salt deposit is found in bone, whereas in cartilage it isn't. This is the structure of the cell. You need to know it. It might come for 3 marks like differentiation. Then you draw the structures. Then it will be more impressive, like for the person who is correcting it. The next is areolar tissue. See, you can see this is the areolar tissue cell. Yeah, this is a tissue, not a cell. So, it can be found between skin and muscle. It is a very thin layer. It can be found between skin and muscle. The components of areolar tissue is macrophage, collagen fiber, mast cell, and plasma cell. So this is see macrophage. This is macrophage. So it engulfs the infectious agent. Then collagen fiber. This is collagen fiber. It provides the testile strength. It just provides strength, support, and all. Then mast cell. It releases histone. Mast cell. It releases histone against the allergic reaction. Here is mast cell. And then plasma cell produces antibody. It produces antibody. This is plasma cell. Next is adipose tissue. Adipose tissue, or also fat tissue, you can say. This is fat droplets and all. This is nucleus. This is nucleus here. So cell name is adipocyte, and it acts as a thermal insulator or a cushioning structure in your body. Then next, the last point for this is fat in your body is stored as globules below the skin or around the internal organs. So you can see that this part, the bicep part of your body is fat, or your stomach is fat. That's because this is the internal organ, and space between there, it's stored there, globules. So thank you for watching this video, and this is a short summary of epithelial and connective tissues from grade 9 textbook, NCERT textbook. And I keep on making these type of videos, so please subscribe my channel for getting latest updates. Thank you.